The best part of the trip was all the boat travel. I loved getting from Whitehill Canal over to Maleda. That was excellent.
My favourite experience was probably the cyclone. Being in the condemned house and having the cyclone go over us and shake the house and all the windows was epic.
My favourite experience would probably have to be playing soccer every afternoon with the local Smallman Island boys.
Getting the kids involved with the work project by getting them to carry lots of bags of sand and that was good fun.
My favourite experience was the welcome. The people from Monopusu sang a welcome song and it was just beautiful, and just the camaraderie between us all was great.
Just the people, how they engage and how much closer they are to God. They rely on God a lot more than, well, it's their first port of call instead of trying to do things themselves. It's always relying on God a lot more over there.
What surprised me on the trip would have to be...
The thing that surprised me most was probably that nothing much had changed in a lot of the villages. Everything just seems to be the same when you go back, and the need is always there.
What surprised me was how happy the people were when they had so little. Like, we would go to church and they would just sing and dance and be just so happy, and they had nothing. It was really, really cool.
Can't say taking the machetes back home, can I?
Surprised me the most was the fact that these little 9-10-year-old boys could climb up a 15-metre coconut tree and kick down some coconuts. That was pretty impressive.
Oh no, that's bad.
What surprised me, well, this time the community took ownership of the program as well, so not only we just had them working alongside of us on the roof, painting, playing, and I think that was just a great surprise.
Oh no, that's also bad.
I think the biggest surprise was when we turned up at on a pursuit, and the work that has been continuing going on there. They put in new paths around the college, and all from the sand from the beach, which it may not seem much, but if you were there watching how they do it, just loading up little 20-kilo sugar bags, and the amount of sand that they've moved to do these paths is just amazing, and just continually upgrading the place is really good.
What surprised me was actually whenever we'd walk down throughout the college, all the local kids would chant her name. That was pretty cool.
I think what challenged me was how much the people in the Solomon Islands can rely on God, and how much we fill our lives up with things that aren't of God.
What challenged me was probably really going through Honiara, because it's super dirty and disgusting, and I felt safe, but I felt very watched throughout Honiara. That was scary.
Not having things go according to time or a schedule, just always having to wait a few extra hours, or yeah.
What challenged me the most was being away from my family and just seeing people not have access to food and the things that we take for granted.
The waiting around because of the weather. As we know that when we go to Solomon Islands, we do a lot of waiting around, but this time there was just a lot more because we had no control over the weather, so sitting around did get a bit long.
Relying that God is taking great care of you. As most of you know, that this time we had a cyclone while we were over there. Every time we've gone over, there's been a different trip, a different way of getting to Onupisu, and it's always been left in God's hand, and He's always got us there safely, no matter what.
I had a great time. I lived through a cyclone. I went fishing in a cyclone, and I got alongside a lot of old friends and made a lot of new friends.
I loved it. It was great.
Yes, of course I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed most of it.
Loved it.
I never enjoy it. I love it. It's a great experience to do if you ever get a chance to. It is something that I think a lot of people should think of doing. It's one of the cheaper, easier missions to accomplish, and I don't think you'll ever come away from it not satisfied.
I think you rely on God more there than here because you have the time. Your life isn't filled up with all these extra things that take away the time that you should be spending with God.
I would say yeah, because there's so much more time for God when you're over there. Like when we're here, we're always constantly going from one place to another, doing whatever. But over there, you just have so much time just to be with God.
Definitely relied on God more there than I do normally because we were tested a lot more over there.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, definitely. In particular, on the boat trip going over there, it was a little rough, so I just remember lay there praying all night. Jesus and I had a great chat.
Yes, you always do. It's the whole time. Like Kathy's always said, we have plan A, B, C, and D, and all the time it's left in God's hands. There's always something that we have prepared that we want to do while we're over there, but everything's always left in God's hand, and God just guides us through while we're there, and we get done what He wants us to do while we're there. Yeah.
Me fella go and catch 'em fish.
You fella, me fella, go to church over the feast tonight, yeah?
So we give you What's